episode 58 of the Inside Real Estate Podcast with Helena Thompson. Action. Say action.
Action. Say action. You wanted to redo this? No. Okay. I didn't know I was supposed to say action.
The less perfect, the better. It was gone and now it's back?
Yes. No, it's still there.
All right, Helena, I've had enough of this, okay?
It's going to lips.
All right, so we're about 5 seconds into this episode and we're already off the rails. Listen, let's just start it. How did you get into real estate?
Got into real estate. I guess I should say first, purchased a home as a first-time home buyer. Have no clue, no idea what's happening, how the process works. Somebody that we knew and we trusted, didn't really see many houses. Asked about one, it was fixer-upper, was not ready. If I can walk bare feet on the surface, that's not the one.
Okay.
Then they show us second property. It was nicely done, ready to go. So let's put an offer. And from there, we just put an offer. So the agent was dual agent, which means they represent the seller. They show us the house, and now we're ready to put an offer. So it's a dual agency, which is allowed in Pennsylvania. You just sign specific paperwork that everyone understands. I don't know, that person might be watching at some point. Mm-hmm. So it was dual agency. I don't think it was really explained. Make it story short, after we purchased the house, now we're in the house, things start happening.
Okay.
And we did have a home inspection, but we had no idea what we're supposed to do. We have no clue. I have no clue what we're supposed to do. Read the report, reply to inspection. Now I know what that means because I help buyers sell houses, list houses for the sellers. So I felt like we were really not represented.
Okay.
Fully, for sure. So at that point, and I always had like passion or interest in real estate. So I was like, I need to help other people and guide them through the process. And so it doesn't happen to them. What happened to us when we purchased our first home.
So you actually had a bad experience in real estate and you were like, this is not good.
And my duty is to help others, basically, kind of thing. Like I really had passion for real estate, but what happened to me, I don't want to. I'm gonna do my best to help other people to not to have not experience, but after you purchase a house. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
After you purchase the house. You go for the final walkthrough, everything is great. 2 days later, buyer who you represented, they call you and say, hey, AC is not working. But that's why we're doing the final walkthrough. Mm-hmm. But there was more into it, I guess. Again, not really fully explained. So my job, I think, is to help other people and guide them through the process when I represent the buyers.
I mean, I think that's awesome. You get a lot of people when I ask them how do you get into real estate, it's like, oh, I had this job, I hated this job, I needed something different, and that's how I got into real estate. You actually had an experience where you were on the buy side and didn't feel like you were taken care of properly. And I think there's probably a lot of times where that happens, right? So why don't we just stay on that for a minute, with the dual agency stuff, right? I think a lot of agents, if you were to ask 100 agents, you'd probably get 50 on one side, 50 on the other. Dual agency, a good thing or bad thing, right? When I had my license, I had no problem doing dual agency. I thought it was a good thing from my perspective for the buy so if whether I had the if I had the listing, I would tell my sellers like, hey, this could happen, right? So they knew it was a possibility, but I felt like I had more control of the situation being a dual agent, because it's like, okay, as long as you're being ethical and operating the right way, you're able to kind of make it work for both sides well. You
can, but also it's a very thin line between, because at the end of the day, you still represent the seller. Mm-hmm. When you got the listing, you represent the seller and best interest of the seller.
Yep. Have you ever done dual agency yourself?
Yes.
Would you still do it today?
I think once.
Would you still do it again today if it came up?
Would I do it again? I guess it depends on the situation. It depends on the transaction, depends on the house, depends on if the seller just want to sell and they understand. Actually, again, off the topic, but kind of the same cover it. So recently, excuse me, I was shown a property, I would say rehab in Bryn Mawr, to one of my investors. The house next door, I was on the back deck waiting for my client to arrive. I was on the back deck just checking out the property, all the premises. The lady next door just said hello, and actually invited me to her house either now or after my showing just to see the house, because the house is kind of like similar. And this one is complete rehab and not tear down, but a lot of rehab needed. And she invited me to her house to see the property, what can be done potentially. So went through very quickly, and then, of course, she knows I'm in real estate. And she mentioned that she's actually renting that property. So eventually, either she's would like to find something else. So I left my card. We said goodbye. We're gonna meet up for coffee. Just about 10 days ago, she called me and said, "Hey, how you doing? Yes, my lease expires in the summertime, possibly considering another rental property, if you can help me." So that was great. You have to talk to people. Being in real estate, you have to talk to people. So she asked me to help her find potential rental. And at the same time, it's still enough time. It's not enough time to look right now. We have few months before we start looking. Then she reached out again and said, by the way, she told me her story. She sold the house in Havertown few years back. She moved out of state. She came back. Now she's back here. She's actually asking me to see if she can buy that house back. The house she sold in, I believe it was 2018.
Okay.
So she's asking me now, don't get it twisted. I'm not buying anything else. I'm not buying any other property. But if you can help me to purchase my home that I sold in 2018, I will buy it.
Was it for sale?
No, it's not for sale.
So she wants you to go knock on the door and say, "Hey, will you sell?"
She didn't say that, but she's like, how can we do this? Or I want this house. I don't want anything else. Just this house. She says, like, don't get it twisted, girl. I'm not buying anything else, but if you can help me buy this house.
So what'd you do?
I did my research. Don't like cold calling, especially with current rules we have to follow. We're really not supposed to cold call people if they do not call us. So I called. I introduced myself. I apologized for me calling randomly, and I explained the situation. I said, "Hey, listen, is by any chance you and your husband considering selling the house?" And make it story short, she said, "We actually talked about this a couple weeks ago." I was like, "No way." And we had a very nice conversation. I actually followed up with her yesterday. They just started, because they are considering. So they look at a few houses this past weekend, but they didn't like that house. So if they find something, they possibly considering selling the house to my client.
So you had a seller or you had somebody who was renting the house. Mm-hmm. moved on, is thinking about another rental, but said if they can get that other house, that's the only one that they would be considering buying.
Yes.
So you go back to the homeowners, ask them if they're willing to sell, and now you're working with them to look at houses?
No, she mentioned to me that they call the agent, and I wasn't sure if they just randomly click on the link and just connected because they like certain property. Now with you can click on Zillow or Realtor.com or Redfin, and you can be connected with an agent. No, evidently they did have an agent. So she showed them the houses, but they never discuss selling their house because they don't have to sell to purchase the house. So I will not be, I was hoping I possibly can help them find something in a timely manner that's suitable for them, no pressure, and help my current client possibly, to get the house back.
It's funny how things happen when you do put things in motion, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're with KW in Collegeville, right?
Yes.
And you're on Teresa's team, the Birmingham and Couch team, right?
Correct.
How long have you been with them?
Well, I started my real estate career a little over a decade, 11, 12 years now. Mm-hmm. I started with Keller Williams. We had different location, or Therese and Tom had different location prior in Limerick. Then they outgrew the space, and they got the new office in Collegeville. So moved to, now we're in Collegeville. It was a single agent. Then I joined the Therese's and Tom's team. I would say 5 years now so far.
Nice. What is for you, what's the difference or the change that you experience going from single agent to working on a team?
On a team, it's not for everyone, but I felt like I wanted to belong to something, like more than just the office. I always had a support and advice from different agents, from broker itself, Therese, Tom. Anytime you come, ask a question, you always get an answer. Team, it was more like collab with other agents. And even though in real estate you work for yourself, like
right.
You're still an independent contractor and you're just doing your own thing. But I think with a team, there's more different options available.
Do you think it makes you, do you think it made you a stronger agent to be part of that team?
I learned few things, I guess, extra things versus before, you just surround your people with, who's doing great. And
motion creates emotion, right?
Correct.
Yeah. No, that's nice. We work with your team with a lot of the people on the team, and you guys seem like a good group.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're a little crazy, but...
Why I'm crazy?
No, I'm just kidding. Was there ever a time where you felt that working, having that team behind you helped you in a buy or sell situation that maybe wouldn't have gone as well if you were by yourself?
Well, I think Therese and Tom always been great. It doesn't matter if you're on the team or not on the team. And I know people live brokerage and they do come back. Therese and Tom always have their, open-minded, and the door's always open because, as they say, grass is not green on the other side. People do leave, and they do come back, and they always great, to welcome you back with no, feel you awkward or weird. To me, what was the question?
Has the team ever helped you in a situation, like having that team behind you? Was it ever like, okay, I'm in this situation, and I had this team that like maybe this wouldn't have gone as well if I didn't have a team behind me? Again,
Therese is a broker. She always have your back. It doesn't matter if you're on the team or not. But being on a team, absolutely. I can call her, text her, I want to say 24/7. She will always answer. And then recently also had a situation that I thought that did the right thing, but appraisal came back low, And the agent on the listing side was telling me I was wrong. I didn't provide certain paperwork to back it up. My client, which I knew I did, but I started doubting myself. Called Therese right away. I was like, I feel a certain way. And she handled it very well. The next morning, we made a call, her as a broker, just helping me through, answer for me, because I knew what I was doing, but the way the other party approach made me doubt myself, and she helped me through, just that segment, that struggle, and she always there.
That's good.
She will help.
I kind of, you're saying that, but I kind of, just seeing it from the outside, I kind of feel like that's true. Like from knowing Therese, I feel like she's that kind of person. So she's
good. Always busy.
Yes, she is.
But she will find the time. And she will, of course, she will hear my story. She know what's actual, how it's supposed to be handled, and she will help if needed. And I mean, any agent can, come through something that needs, help or handled a certain way, and she will always help.
Good. What's something that you've learned about people being in real estate?
We all people. We all different.
Yeah.
So different. In certain situation, you will, I don't want to say assume, but you will think the person going to react because the situation is not major. It's just like leave the old dryer or remove, and because they didn't get, a certain number, and now they're thinking about removing. To me, it's like, I think it's cheaper to leave it behind, but because they trying to be stubborn and want their way, every person is different. So we all different, which is fine. That's why we're all here. But in some situation, you will think it should go this way, but it will go opposite direction. Something on the contract just now. Something on the contract, moving along, great. My client, who I represent the buyer, he's telling me, if they don't do this, I'm going to terminate. And it's something so minor. And I was like, really? Like, are you joking? Are you serious? He was like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, there's no way. So, of course, trying to handle the right way, research, got the answers, taken care of already, step ahead, and, just to save the deal. But you just never know how client can react to daily. And maybe be based on whatever they went through last night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's, honestly, it's a good way. It's probably one of the most important things I think realtors need to learn is that, like, they're people, right? You do this as a profession. So you're doing this all the time. You're seeing all these situations. But a lot of these people, it's like, this is a 3-month thing that's going on for them in their lives before they do something else. It's emotional. Like, okay, if could be getting a divorce, could be, I got too many kids in this house, my life's going crazy, I need a bigger house, or whatever it would be. So they have all these other stressors and things going on that, you're right, could cause them to react in certain ways. Sometimes it's just ego, right?
Sometimes some situation people just want win. They just want to win.
Right. How do you have to approach that in general? Okay, like, so whether it's somebody being a little irrational maybe about a situation, or just taking it to a place it doesn't need to go, like, what are you having to do? Like, what's the mindset of a realtor when that happens?
When someone reacts, and I kind of learning this, you don't want to react fast right away. Like, whatever, if the text coming through or the phone call is coming through, you don't want to react. Maybe sometimes you want to react fast, but you just slow it down, process, trying to understand where they coming from, and then react a certain way. And I like to resolve the problem before I even get back to them if there's something I can handle right away. So they not,
So presenting a solution when you respond, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. What has real estate taught you about yourself?
Very good question.
Like, think about where you were before, like you got into real estate because of your situation, right? And then now you're in it, and it's like, what's something you learned about yourself?
Patience, for sure. Learn how to, again, react to things, to handle things certain way, not to, first reaction can be, I don't want to do this, I don't need this, like why I'm doing this, but you have to calm yourself down and understand why you're doing this. Like at the end of the day, still helping families to achieve their goal, whatever it is. So what I learned about myself, I think I'm pretty good handling certain situations and explain to people, like, not to overreact right away, explain the situation and handle it the right way. So, they still moving forward, still moving along. Let's get to our goal. Either we're selling the house or buying the house or both at the same time. And everything has happened for a reason. Sometimes people get, we put an offer and it's not accepted, and it's like, oh, I don't want to look at any more houses. I'm going to take a break. And my job is to explain, that's not the house, possibly. That's not the one for you. Let's continue the search. Let's continue to look at the properties. And when the right one comes, that whatever the house was for you, it will be, we will make it work and we will find the one. So I think I learned about myself that it's an art to learn people and how to, react and explain the right way so they can, still be on board and just to move along.
Do you think, let me give you an example. For me, when we photograph homes, right? Mm-hmm. We've been doing it as of this February, 20 years.
Wow.
Right? So I've seen a lot of homes. When we go into certain homes, it could be this townhome development or a townhome development an hour away.
Right.
But if it's the same builder, could be the same exact house. So like in doing this for so long, like I've seen, like I can walk into certain homes and like I've shot this exact layout before, whatever. It's kind of, I know exactly where the best spots to shoot from are, all those type of things. Do you feel that you've, over the years that you've been doing this, that you run into situations and like, I know how to deal with this now? Like whether it's a type of personality or it's a type of situation that comes up. Do you feel like that you're constantly getting better and always learning something, and then like when you run into those situations again, it's like now I'm an expert at that situation?
Absolutely. I mean, over the years, I always say when some of the younger agents who start in the career and, I talk to them, not mentoring anyone, but when I do, at this moment, I don't mentor anyone, but when I do, always say every transaction is so different because it's the personalities, the people, the situation that you're involved with. I would say township is different. All the requirements you need to know, but sometimes you run in situations, even, identical home, it's different people involved. So it's not going to be, I know what you mentioned, like when you shoot the house, like same layout, where to shoot from correctly. Here we're dealing with more, with people that we're all different. Right. So every situation is different, but if you from past experience, handling or going through tough situation, you learn from it. I would say, even the easy transaction, from every single transaction, you learn something new. And I think over the years, you become an expert in certain areas and certain things, for sure.
Do you deal more with buyers or sellers, or just a good mix of both?
Both.
Okay. Pick one. I want to dive in on one of them.
You pick one.
Okay.
And I will
Let's
fill
start,
you in.
Let's start with buyers first. Okay. What's it like being a buyer right now?
It depends what you're looking for. It depends what property you're looking for.
Okay.
If you're a first-time home buyer and you have certain budget, if you're a luxury buyer, and if you're relocating from different state, it's all different markets.
But in general, like let's say, I mean, think of your recent experience. Like, what is a buyer going through, or is it tougher in those different situations, or is it all kind of like, is the market tough right now in general, or is it generally like, are you pretty successful at helping your people get their houses?
I would say some clients, what they're looking for, I don't want to say the house doesn't exist, with the expectation they have and the budget they have, so it's going to be more tougher.
Okay.
If the buyer is, just to give perfect example right now, they reached out to me on one of my listings, and I mentioned up front, you're probably not going to like it because it needs a lot of work. They still want to see it. I also I asked them if they want to see anything else the same day when I'm going to meet them, show them this property. And they gave me one more property. And after we visit the first home, which they say, you are absolutely right. You were just on the dot about that house is not for us, even though I never met them before. And then the second house we visit, they loved that house. We put an offer. It was accepted, moving forward. It's great. So it depends on the situation, I would say. Okay. Depends on every buyer.
All right. What's your style with buyers? I call you up, say, Helena, I want to buy a house. Take me through like your process, how you're going to deal with me. What's it going to look like working with you?
We can meet in person. I would love to meet in person. If it's not feasible to meet in person, we can do a buyer's consultation over the phone, or we can do Zoom. So we kind of get to know each other. I ask questions. You answer the questions. I build on my end, my report, so I know more about you, what exactly you're looking for, what's your situation. So what your timelines, obviously what your budget, exactly what you're looking for. So, we're going to build a report so I know how to, what's the next step. Okay. Were you even pre-approved? Have you spoke to the bank? Or you just want to randomly I saw this online, let me just show me the house. Okay. So I have to know a little bit more about you before, okay, we're going to just jump and go look at houses.
So if I call you randomly from the internet and I say, I want to see this house tonight, will you do that? Or do we have to actually sit there and talk?
We don't have to sit and talk, but I will explain rules and regulations for me to show you this house. You have to sign certain documents. I know buyers don't like to sign any buyer's agency contract. They never met me. They just want to see the house, but my job is to explain this is what's needed prior to us looking. And some people are like, never mind, and they're trying to call someone else. Yeah. But whoever is serious, my job is to explain, you understand, and you will have no problem signing it because there's different options how we can, you don't have to sign with me for 1 year. Obviously, we never met before. You don't know my style. I don't know yours. Not necessarily I want to work with you and I can help you because if certain personality, certain requirements or something unreasonable, then, but yes, absolutely. I will show you the house. You just have to... You have to follow the rules. I have to follow the rules. But absolutely, I can show you the house tonight.
It's funny you say they don't want to sign it. It's like for so long before this recent NAR stuff with the whatever, buyer's agents wouldn't get that buyer's
That's
agent.
serious.
They didn't get the buyer agency agreement signed until like after, okay, we're under contract and all that other stuff. And, you know, I understand why they didn't. I mean, I didn't when I first got my license. Like, I was like, this is awkward. You don't have anything holding you to them, right? Like, you don't, with a listing, it's like, okay, I'm dealing with your house, you know, but with them, you know, it's like you're locking, you know, you're asking me to.
With the seller, you lock in because you selling the house. So here's the contract. With the buyer, you just like, I can show you the house. You don't ask them to sign buying contract.
Right.
And because so many agents didn't ask.
So many agents
Consumers
still don't.
Still don't, probably. I know I do, because every door we open and we get audited, there's $1,000 fine for every door we open without the contract. And if the buyer doesn't want to sign, and I explain that literally with numbers, because, you know.
Makes sense. But so back when I was selling, right? And in the beginning,
When was that?
I probably got rid of my license around 2013.
Okay, that's right before I started.
I had my license around 2007
Okay.
through 2013. But like what I found was that without getting that buyer agency agreement signed and the buyer consultation and all those type of things, buyers didn't take it as seriously. You know, they think like, oh, this is just somebody that's opening a door for me, you know, and whatever. But it was like too much chaos. And then I said, okay, I'm going to come up with a system. The guy that I was, he was my partner at the time, and we were working, doing this stuff together. And we said, okay, we sat down. We said, this is what we're going to do. If you're going to be buying a house and you're going to use us, you're going to come in, always in-person consultation. We sit down. We went through the consumer notice. I love that document, by the way. I always felt like it was a great way to really show them that I'm a professional, know what I'm talking about. And also, you can give the buyer a lot of good information going over that document that makes them feel like they're being taken care of. And then I feel like after that, it was much easier because they always tell you, it's like, this is not a contract. This is just a disclosure. But you are getting them to put pen to paper. After they signed acknowledgement to that document, I felt like it was so much easier to get them to sign the buyer agency agreement because they had already gone through the process of putting their name on something when dealing with me, you know? And I think, and then after that, a lot of what you're talking about, like the questions and things to kind of feel them out, get to know what they're looking for. I mean, I felt like but it was like a game changer. Like the process went smoother. They took it more seriously.
Well, they can sign that, and by law, you don't have to sign. We have to present that document. They can still refuse. And I can write on it and say, hey, present it, but not sign. Because
right.
some people, I don't want to sign anything.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a contract. It's just explaining the relationships, different relationships in the real estate. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to sign anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, I can't show you the house. And they might call someone else.
Yep. Let them. Some people are a piece of work. Okay. So
I know you ask about, you know, working with the buyers, working with the sellers. Sometimes people call and they just want to see this home. And I think we work on it together as well. So they call me and they want to see a certain property. I explain they did sign just for that property for that day. I show them the house. Now we're there, which we didn't have prior, like a full consultation. Like, what are you looking for in this? They just want to see that house.
Yeah.
They loved it. And, you know, and now at this point, you know, it's a certain situation. At this point, I'm asking how you planning on buying it. Is it cash? Is it mortgage?
Do you have money?
You know, sometimes it happens and there's like, no, we haven't talked to the bank yet, and we want to sell our house. So that's when you're like, okay,
I can help
tell
you
me
with
more
that.
tell me more about your house, and then, you know, have stories from the past then just like we won this house and we won't need to put an offer like today, but we really can't because we don't know what we're dealing, what we're selling. So just the next day, go and look at their property, evaluate, prepare a report. This is how much we can sell it for, and do it all that very fast. Selling, buying, putting an offer. They actually didn't want to accept our offer with us selling, with contingency us selling it, which we will list in the house like right the next day. And the property was still around for another week or so because after I list the house, and the client really wanted to buy. Because originally they didn't need to get a mortgage because they were selling their house and they had proceeds to buy cash because they did not want a mortgage. But again, circumstances changed. Now they are applying for mortgage and buying the property with a mortgage. We're selling their house. And that happened. I think I actually have review for that client. We did all that less than 2 months. We look at the house, we submit an offer, was not accepted because contingent of selling the house. We applied for the mortgage, and guess what? We sold the house before. I know some mortgage lenders not going to like me. But the client really didn't want to get in any debt because they were not getting any younger, so they did not want a mortgage. We put an offer, we listed the home, we sell the home, and we purchased the home less than 2 months. And you were the photographer for that property.
Which one was it?
Westchester.
Oh, Falcon.
Yes.
I drive by it every day almost. It's a nice house. What's harder, buying or selling a house right now?
Some sellers are tough too.
Right now?
Yep.
And what makes it tough?
I don't know. So how I reached out to them, I see this for sale by owner sign for months, and I'm passing, and it's still there. And, it is for sale by owner. You just put your sign because you don't want to work with an agent. Either you want to save the money, not paying a commission, or whatever the situation is. They just put the sign. So for the sellers out there, if you think, that's the best way, and then you can handle it yourself, maybe you can, but maybe you can't. So the sign is there. People keep constantly calling you. They want to see the house. You don't know who is calling you. It can be also dangerous. You don't know who is calling you. You as a seller, you're going to say, are you pre-qualified? Do you have money? They don't ask. They just going to let you in. And sometimes it can be also, like I said, dangerous because you don't know who that person who is calling, they're going to rob the house, or they're going to do anything to you while you're showing the house. So it's not safe. So this client, I'm passing the house, and it's on the busy street, and I'm like, I don't want to, but I'm like, it's my duty to help this person to sell the home. So I call them, ask the right questions, because he was end up, meeting me, show me the property, and hopefully listing in next few days.
Nice.
So again, I feel like it's my duty to help either sellers or buyers. It depends on the situation.
So this is kind of you really treat this like it's like kind of like your calling, kind of like you.
I know. Yes.
Not every agent's like that. There are some. I'd say probably most are not like that, to be honest with you.
Like some of my past clients, again, how they find me or find them, 48 years in the home, and now they downsizing. Now it's time to go. So I will definitely can take care of them. I know some of the agents, I heard stories, it's not for them. They don't have time. They don't have patience. They don't want to they just want to list the house,
There are different situations. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, every seller's different. So, I mean, they you got some in this situation, some in that situation. They all need something a little bit different.
And then some agents are different.
Definitely agents are different. But, I mean, some of them just want the easiest thing where they can be as hands-off as possible. And it works for some people. It's not to knock them, but there are some people that I think agents like you are better suited for because you're willing to put that personal touch on.
Personal touch for sure. Because have I lost listings in the past? Yes, but because I was honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like with the FSBOs, right? They don't want to list with an agent because they want to save money. Some sellers want to be told what they want to be told, regardless of whether it's the truth or not. I had a listing appointment I went on at one point, and we told this lady, like, she wanted, I think she wanted like $850, and we were telling her that it was going to be like between $750 and $775, and she didn't want to hear that, and so we didn't get the listing.
Do you still list the house if they selling you, you know?
We probably would have taken it at that higher price range because it was close enough that you could have negotiated down. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think it was like out of the realm. It wasn't like she wanted $1 million for something, you know, that was going to be like a 7, you know, but we didn't get that opportunity because after we left, she talked to another agent and listed it right on the dot of the number that she wanted. Sat on the market for over 6 months, ended up selling it for $775.
But you were telling them.
Yep.
Happened to me a few times.
Even if they feel like they're wrong, they'll never tell you they're wrong because nobody wants to admit they were wrong. Even if they know that you were right, you know, they'll never come back to you and say that. That's just people.
Yes.
You know, like people don't want to come back in with their tail between their legs and say you were right.
You were right.
You know,
yeah.
And
I don't say I was right.
No,
I'm just, you know,
you're
know.
just happy, like, yes, let's go.
Well, I sometimes I'm like, do you really list this service and list at the higher price point and then just, you know, because when I do my, you know, due diligence, my research, of course, we can be wrong. We're humans, and sometimes people willing to overpay.
Especially now.
So
but it's hard to, especially like, I think we're getting closer and closer to what would have been a more traditional market. Unfortunately, like Chester County and like areas around here, a lot of times it's like people want to be here. So it's not like that. But during COVID and everything, how are you as the agent supposed to tell somebody your price is wrong when all they see is people paying stupid money for these houses? It's like you couldn't be like, no, your home's worth this and that's it, because you don't know. You know, like, okay, my neighbor listed it at 700 and they ended up getting 800 for it. I want to list my house for 900. Well, it's like, maybe, but I've seen people paying $300K over ask.
I know.
It's like,
I know. It was those crazy times. Like
it was nuts. So back to the FSBOs for a second, right? So their number one driver is always the money.
Yeah, always the money.
Always the money.
They don't care about the service, how much you're going to charge, what it's going to cost me.
How much headache they got to deal with, you know? So it's like, not only are you going to market the property better than...
No, they don't ask that.
No.
They don't even ask, like, what are you going to sell it? All they care is about the final number.
Right. But I mean, when they do decide to list on their own, what they don't realize, and even if they do, they're just stubborn about it, that, okay, yeah, I can pay a photographer, put my house on Zillow.
Oh, they put on the Zillow, yes.
Right. I got to deal with the headache of scheduling showings and all that stuff myself.
They don't think it's headache. I think sometimes they like it for some reason.
Right. But all the stuff that happens after you go under contract.
Right.
That they don't realize comes up that, like, you deal with every day, that it's like, it's still a pain in the butt for you sometimes, but you know how to deal with it. They don't. There was a statistic I saw that said people who work with an agent versus a for sale by owner on average get around 11% more for the house. So even if you, let's say you paid 6% commission, you're still walking away positive 5% more than you would have gotten by yourself. So it's still a win, and they just don't see it that way.
They don't.
And it's crazy. But
It's our job to explain, but you can only explain so much.
Right. You can lead a horse to water, right?
Exactly. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted.
Just go bring over a bottle of tequila.
I don't
Do a
think-
shot with them. Get them sauced up. Sign right here. What is your favorite part about this business?
I guess I like to, in the beginning, like you like to get the listing. You get very excited to be accepted. Like one opportunity was, I didn't know up front, but I was actually 8th agent, the interview. And I didn't know. I actually know. When we were at the listing appointment, he showed me around, going through some paperwork I'm explaining. I actually called on the spot without knowing. I called one of my past clients. I called and asked them why should they work with me. Guess what? So we're sitting at the dining room table, and I'm calling my client and ask them why this client should work with me. And she's telling him the feedback, and the doorbell rang. That was the next client was coming in right behind me. So that was awkward, but also fun, I guess. At the end of the day, I got the listing, got it sold. The same client, they have seller's remorse. We under contract. I guess it's a funny story, or not that funny. But so we under contract, have great buyers, moving along just about the month prior to closing. One of the sellers changed their mind. She said, I don't want to sell this house. I want to live here until I can. So now the husband comes back to me and say, hey, we don't want to sell this house. So I have to go to my broker and say, they don't want to sell this house anymore. What are we doing? So we explained the contract. They were willing to pay our broker compensation, buyer's broker compensation, and pay buyers $50,000 just for them to walk away. Buyers said no.
They wanted it that bad.
They wanted that bad. They didn't want extra money. The sellers wanted it back, but we explained things. I guess personalities, situations.
Did they end up
selling? They end up selling the house.
Did they end up being okay with it, or they were just miserable that they were doing it the whole time?
I guess they were okay, but they were having second thoughts because they've been in the property, over many years, and they just like, no, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do it.
What do you think it was that made them want to stay? Just like, do you think it was getting the house ready and nicer than it's probably been, that they were like, oh, we still like this house? Or what do you think it was that made them want to stay?
I don't know, honestly. Again, they were getting older, and they just decided, like, oh, I just want to die in this house. I don't want a new.
People used to do that.
Yes.
Not so much anymore. I was at this shoot one time, and I joke with people before, because I've had one of our clients say, multiple over the years, that are like, the sellers thought the house looked so good in the pictures, like they
want to keep it.
Right. So we get there, and you could tell that the sellers did a lot of work, like cleaning up and stuff in this house. And the agent walks in, he's like, place looks great. And he was not looking at the seller when she was saying this.
Right.
And she goes, don't say that. I'm just listening to it. And then I'm like, oh, she's joking or something like that. And then he goes, no, you guys did a great job. It really looks fantastic. And she goes, don't say that. And I looked at her. She was dead serious. She's like, no, yeah, I was thinking that I don't even want to sell this anymore. And the agent's looking at her, and the look on his face was like, as the agent, I know you're supposed to put the clients first, but it's also business, and you're making your money. And it's like, that's a moment that's hard for an agent to turn off. Like, really? Like,
I don't know what I would do. I will still do what the client wants. They don't want to sell it.
No,
then.
I understand, and he would have done the same thing. But it's just like, how do you hide your emotions in that situation? Because she was like,
at that moment.
Yeah, in that moment, you're just like,
what's happening?
Yeah, exactly. And it
no
was just
way,
like,
it's not happening right now.
But she was a little. And she just had this look like she was like almost like upset about the situation that like they were deciding to do this. And it was just, part of me, and then he looked over at me and I said, don't look at me. But I mean, it was funny. I mean, it's not, I mean, I know it happens.
It does.
Because a lot of times people's houses are a wreck and then they get them in good condition to sell the houses. And then they're like, wow, this is the way it was when we fell in love with it, you know?
Let's keep it.
Yeah.
This one is a keeper. We're not moving. But I've seen all kinds of houses. Pretty houses. I don't want to say ugly houses, but really destroyed houses.
Yeah, for sure.
Not taken care of.
Some people.
And we still sell those?
Yeah, we sell them all.
We sell them all.
From the worst of the worst to the best of the best. All right, here's some rapid fire questions. If you could go back in time, would you still have made the decision to become a realtor?
Yes.
Okay. What is your best advice to somebody thinking about buying a house right now?
Get a realtor.
Okay.
Who represent their best interest. Buyer's agent.
Okay.
Don't call the listing agent. You're not going to get the results that you should be deserve, the results that you deserve. Because when you call a listing agent, some of the buyers think they were going to get a better deal. And they maybe don't have to pay something, commission, or they just going to get a better deal because the listing agent knows. This listing agent knows about the property the most? Yes. Most of the time. Some listing agents don't know nothing about the property when they list the property.
But you're not paying them and they don't care. They're only worried about selling that house.
Selling the house, just a business.
What are 2 or 3 things I should be asking a buyer's agent before deciding to work with them?
I don't want to say ask them about their success rate, but ask them for the reviews. Or actually, when the current AI world, people researching their stuff up front. Mm-hmm. Just recently, it was like person was visiting my open house, and she mentions like, "Yeah, I watch your YouTube. I watch your reviews. I read your reviews. So yeah, I trust you. I want to work with you." So that's a good thing. For this, to answer your question, what was the question again?
What are 2 or 3 things you would ask the buyer's agent before deciding this is the agent for me?
Well, just ask the questions, and again, in the situation, what exactly they're looking for. See if you connect. See if the agent understands what your needs are, not just a transaction.
Okay. So it's not so much a one question. It's more having a conversation to see if they understand you.
Yes.
And is it if the agent, good reputation, they understand what you're looking for, is it important that you vibe with that agent?
I think so. I think it's important.
Like
because they can have great reviews, even though I mentioned they can great reviews, but if you don't vibe, if the agent's not listening, what your needs are, if the agent doesn't move the way you move, if it's too fast, if I'm, I move too fast or trying to show things too fast, like we as an agent have to match the person who is in front of us.
I love that.
For sure. Because if my style doesn't match your style, my style should match yours.
And you got all the styles.
We got all the style.
If I wanted to sell my house, like in this market, what's the best piece of advice you could give a seller?
List with an agent. Don't do the FSBO, for sure, just even for your own security. And I think, I know you can read all the reviews and top agents, and you still, I think, should vibe with the person. And don't judge with the company's name.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's the person who you're working with.
Right.
Because they, sometimes they just say, you with such and such. And it's like, oh, I used to have bad experience with such and such. Again, name the company. But that company is not me. I'm the brand. I'm the one who is doing the work. Do I have team behind me? Yes, but I'm the one who you know, working with, either selling or buying.
Yeah. I think that's actually really good advice. And honestly, you don't hear agents talking about that as much as they used to. Because I think it used to be, okay, if I got a luxury house, I'm going with that company. If I
because
got
it's
this,
a luxury agent.
Well, or luxury agent, or just the brokerage that branded themselves as luxury, right? But like you said, it's not the company necessarily that you're working with. Like, yeah, they have some influence on, like, you know, it a little bit, but for the most part, it's the agent. You can have crappy agent in any brokerage. And I actually, just like you said, I actually ran into that before, where like, oh, I was thinking about going with them, or hey, I had a bad experience with your brokerage. But it was somebody not even from my office. It was a different office. I was like, we're not the same. I said, you had to explain to them that it's like, I'm running my own business under this banner, and that's the only thing that's the same is the logo. And I think, you know, you're seeing more now than ever. You're seeing some of the better agents going with not the biggest brands than you used to. And you're seeing, but like, the good agents are going to be successful no matter
where they go.
Right.
Because they doing their business.
Right.
It's just under, like you said, under name of the broker, because in PA you have to be under the broker. Mm-hmm. So you can change the broker and then you can leave and come back, or you can change for different reasons.
Yeah.
And then you learn from this broker, and then just time, and you have to move on. And, you know, some people do approach me when I'm going to be opening my own, you know, little company, because they see what I do. And I just felt like, you know, there's a lot more. It's not just open the office. It's different responsibilities.
A lot.
But it's all great. Maybe sometimes in the future.
I could see
Watch out.
I could see it. Do you have a favorite closing gift that you give to sellers or buyers?
No. It's not like one and done. It's not like, here you go, you're getting this. Because again, you have to learn the client. Sometimes you want to give them a bottle of champagne or tequila or vodka. But sometimes, and I learned that once, so you can't really assume that people drink. You can't, even at celebration, you can't just, you know, you have to know the person. You can't just come at the settlement table, hey, you go, congratulations, drink. They might not be, you know, drinking. So you have to be really careful. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, there's no one gift set and done. I think it depends on the family. Okay. If it's a family, if it's a kids, it might be, you know, different from
Nerf
guns, or, you know.
Yeah. How do people find you if they want to follow you or get in touch with you?
Call me.
Maybe.
Call me, maybe.
Yeah. Where
because again, we can change brokers, but I'm still here.
Where are you on the socials?
Facebook, Instagram.
You TikToking?
TikToking just a little bit.
Not dancing?
No.
Dance. I've seen you dance a couple times.
No.
You're out there doing it up. Okay. And last question. I didn't prepare you for this.
You didn't prepare me for anything.
I ask everybody this question. Send us off with a positive message to the world.
If everyone can just be just a smidge nicer and smile, that will be my message to all. Just for all of us, just be nicer and smile.
Do you do that too?
I do.
Thank you, Helena.
Thank you for having me.
Very nice. Would you rather come across a bear or a man if you're alone in the woods?
Man is fine. I can handle a man. I don't know about the bear.
That's funny.
You just killed a man, but I mean,
Right. But
the
like
bear,
a bear,
I don't know how I'm going to
a
handle
bear, if
the
a bear
bear.
wants to kill you, is going to kill you. A man, he could be a really nice guy, or he could be an a-hole. But if he's an a-hole, it's still better than getting chewed up by a bear.
No, I think, I mean, I have a gun permit actually expired. I have a brand new gun that I never used.
You have a gun?
Yes.
What kind of gun do you have?
I don't ask. But anyways.
You don't know?
So, and I always like, I will shoot him in the leg. And I was like, you don't shoot them in the leg. You have to, if you're going to use it, you know, it's.
Why'd you get it? Because you're in real estate?
Kind of. Partially, not really, but overall. But yes, probably yes.
Do you know that there's a lot of gun ranges that have real estate self-defense classes?
I do not.
Because, like, yeah. Huh? I don't know if they have it real estate specific, but it's like self-defense class. Because, like, just for example, I was dating this realtor before, and she was getting these listings, these crap listings in, like, the worst parts of Philly. And she'd always want me to go with her. And I'm like, I don't have time to go there. But I was like, you're in the not nice part of Philly. And it's like, you're by yourself. You're a little woman, you know?
And that's part of
Real
it.
estate
I
can be
stopped
dangerous.
to go into Philadelphia. I did sell a few of the houses in Philadelphia in the past. I did one of my rehabs in Philadelphia, and everything was fine. And I notice about myself, I always go into something without thinking anything bad's going to happen. Like, never. I just do it, and I was like, oh, what if something would happen?
Yeah. Well, when I had my real estate license, I walked into I had a junkie listing in Philly one time. I walked in there. There was supposed to be nobody there. It was supposed to be vacant. Squatters in there. It was like, they didn't do anything, but it was like, oh, wasn't expecting you to be here. And it's like, you don't know if these people are on drugs or crazy or what the hell's going on.
I have so many stories. Example, I remember first I started, it was supposed to be vacant.
We're rolling, right?
Supposed to be showing, and knock on the door. Hello? You walk in, and like I see it further down, I guess in like a living room. It's been like over 10 years ago. Somebody's sleeping on the mattress, like squatting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they just said something, and my client was with me. She's like, let's go. We just sleep. I don't even want to look at this.
Yeah. One time I walked into this house and there was supposed to be nobody there. And I walked into one room. I had been through the whole house to turn on lights, right? So I'd been in all the rooms and turned on all the lights. Nobody in there. And I'm thinking, okay. Then I hear something. And, you know, I'm walking through the house like, you know, what is that? Because it was loud enough to say, like, it wasn't just something, you know, silly. And one of the bedrooms, there's a joint that somebody was smoking.
Seen those before.
But like just been smoking it. And there's a gun laying on the side table that was not there when I walked in. And I'm like, what is going on here? But I couldn't find anybody. Nobody ever came back. That was it. It was the weirdest thing because it's like I want to finish the job.
Did you smoke the joint and get the gun?
No.
Was
No,
that
I
for
didn't.
real estate or was that for
It's a real
taking the
estate
photos?
Real estate shoot, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, nobody was supposed to be there. But like, I was expecting somebody to show up that just came home or something. No, nobody was there.
But
Nobody
somebody
came back.
was just there and
left
did the thing and left the
with the
stuff
gun and the
behind.
joint. It's like
They're coming back. They're
Yep.
coming back.
100%.